Dr. Lamb. For this video, I'm going to demonstrate translations, reflections, and rotations using concrete models, and I'm going to use the pattern blocks as my manipulatives. Okay, so first of all, I would give my students their own little coordinate grid thing with arrows demonstrating the correct way to go, because my students probably are not very fluent in the direction that they need to go. So I would call this a red, and I would use my red. I'm going to use my red first to demonstrate a translation. Okay, for a translation, I would tell my students that the definition is that it's just going to move, and you're not going to rotate it at all. It's just going to go the same way. So how I would do that is I would have my students physically move their red across their plane without moving it. And another way I could do that is I could get 4 reds, and I could have them all facing the same way, and I would say that this is your translation, when it just moves and you don't rotate it. Okay, for my reflection, I would tell my students that I would ask my students, okay, what certain objects that we encounter on a daily basis show a reflection, and hopefully my students would say a mirror or some kind of glass, and I would say, okay, it's the same general concept. When you show a reflection, it's just, you're just showing it the same thing. So I could put these together, and I would say, okay, this is a reflection of this shape. And I could show that on the coordinate plane by putting these two side by side, and I would say, okay, that is your reflection when you put it on your coordinate plane. And I could ask my students to rotate the shape and show me another way, the way that this is reflected, and they would show me this. Okay. And for my last one, which is my rotation, I would ask my students, what is a rotation? And they would probably tell me when something turns. And so I would say, okay, well, on your coordinate plane, show me the different ways you could turn this shape. And I would start out with a shape like this, your red, and then they could turn it any way they wanted here to show me. Would start right here, and then they could turn, and then it would turn this way, and then it would turn this way. And I would tell my students that this is a rotation when you rotate the shape.